If I traded it all.
Welcome back.
If I
Well, it's that time of the year, and everybody's partying, everybody's having a good time, and we want you all to have a good time, but we also want you to be safe. This next segment is about DUI, and it's important. I like that. I like to talk a little bit about it because I think everybody should put this phone number in your phone because this can happen to anybody out there. And if it's not you, it could be your son or daughter or someone that you know. So make sure that you have this number in your phone. I have with me now Rick Poster, and he is with the Guy Brown Attorney Law Group. And welcome to the show. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself. You said you've been doing this an awful long time.
I have.
And what people should do, God forbid.
Well, first and foremost, I've been practicing law for over 21 years. I've practiced in several states. Started in Michigan, came to Arizona. I have prosecuted cases, so I've worked for the prosecutor side. I've worked for the defense side. I've actually sat on the bench a few years. Okay.
Now, right now, there's we talked a little bit about this before you came on, which was about the DUI task force. And I want to talk a little bit about that because, we all, what not to do is all that's really important, but not getting caught is also really important. So let's talk about those.
Well, the various police agencies here in town have started a task force. They do this every year. They start around Thanksgiving holiday, and they end after the 1st of January. So they are out there, and they are out there in force. All the agencies get together. They go out and patrol the streets looking for DUI drivers. They have mobile DUI vans for testing. And there are a lot of people out there at risk if they drink and drive.
Right. Now, we had also talked a little bit about this, too. Obviously, the safest thing is to not drive and drink. That's all there is to it. Not even if you've had a sip.
Agreed.
Okay. A lot of people do, though. A lot of people are going to parties, and I wanted to talk about this right away. Because I want people to hear this. There's not everybody realizes. You can go to a party and you can have a child in your car, and if they are underage, what can happen?
If there's a minor in the vehicle under 15 years old and you are caught drinking and driving and you're arrested for it, that misdemeanor would normally be a misdemeanor and now becomes a felony.
And what happens to that person if you have a felony on you?
Well, felony increases the punishments. They increase the license sanctions. They increase the fees and fines that come with it. So the punishments are enhanced.
Okay. And you know what? That's big trouble, and you don't need that. So I wanted to get that out for people to think about it, because so many times you're going to a party, you got your kids, they're in the car, I just had a glass of wine. But guess what? Yes, you can. People can. It's not illegal to have a glass of wine.
It is not illegal to drink and drive.
It's just stupid.
It's illegal to drive while you are impaired, and there is a difference. Mm-hmm. Not everybody who will take a drink will be impaired for the purposes of driving, but some people who may have a medical condition, who may not be very tolerant of alcohol, can have one drink and actually be impaired and still not be above the legal limit and still can be arrested for a DUI.
Their phone number. Put this in your phone. That's what I want. I want it in there. It's 602-396-7100. You can check them out on their websites. You've got one, azlawguy.com or poster, P-O-S-T-E-R law.com. The phone number, it's the most important thing. It is 602-396-7100. Put it in the phone, and if God forbid something happens, put it on speed dial for the night you're going out. Right?
Number one.
I mean, unfortunately, I said it earlier to think it was the other gal that was on with you, but bad things do happen to good people. It can happen to anyone. I know somebody who was 80 in California. She went to lunch, she had a glass of wine, and $10,000 later, and in jail. It's a terrible thing for someone like that.
And that's true, and it happens every day. A lot of people think that just because I've had a cocktail at happy hour or a glass of wine or beer with dinner or something like that, they may not be impaired. But if you do something silly, like don't stop properly at a red light, don't stop properly at a stop sign,
and if you're like me and drive bad like me, it could happen to anybody.
You could be texting in your car, and you could be weaving and not realize you are texting, and you are pulled over. And if an officer smells alcohol, the odor of alcohol on your breath, it is now going to become a DUI investigation.
put the number in your car and put it on your phone, 602-396-7100. It's, God forbid, if it's you, it's someone you know, you got the number, give them a call. Is there life after DUI? I mean, do you always have to go to jail? What's the deal?
Of course, there's life after DUI. For most people, it's simply a bump in the road. It's an accident. It's a mistake, and people will go on from there. There are some sanctions. Most people will have some sort of license sanction. There will be fees and fines, but it is just a bump. Life will go on.
Yeah, but it's an expensive bump.
It will be an expensive
That doesn't have to happen.
Correct.
But it does, at all the time.
And it happens to your friends, happens to family members, it happens to people you know, happens to people you don't know, and you'll hear somebody talking about it. Oh, my God, I got a DUI this weekend, especially this weekend. It's Friday night. It's the weekend before Christmas. The DUI task force is out there. There's going to be hundreds of officers dedicated looking for DUIs, and they're going to find them.
The number is 602-396-7100. I plead with you to put that in your phone. azlawguy.com or posterlaw.com. The other thing that I want to talk about before we go on to something else here, which is still under DUI, people who are at a party, they're getting ready to go, or they're not at a party, maybe they're at a restaurant and they're whatever, and they have their keys in their hands, they start walking out to the parking lot or to wherever their car is, they're not driving the car, can they get popped?
Yes. The test is whether the person is in actual physical control. And actual physical control could mean you have your keys in your hand, they may be in your pocket, you could be asleep in your car. Innocently, knowing that you're intoxicated, you figure, better just go to sleep, and you can be arrested for a DUI.
If you're in the car, near the car, if you're thinking about driving the car, if you've been dreaming about it, you're not even near it, you could still get a DUI.
Even if you drove the car and later got out of the car and were walking away from the car, you can still get arrested for a DUI.
That's
because
wild.
You were once in actual physical control of the vehicle.
They'll get you for anything.
They will get you anytime they can.
That's amazing. And it's about money. It's a little bit about money. It is a little bit, you have to admit.
Well, from the police standpoint, it's not about the money. For them, it's about protecting the public and
Safety.
keeping drunk drivers off the road.
But that's amazing. I also want to say this really quickly, too, because a lot of people will maybe stay where they are at. Getting a taxi is a great idea, Uber or what have you. But also, a lot of people will maybe sleep over wherever they were, or whatever, and they get up at like 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm just saying it. I know all the stories. I've never had one, but I'm just going to say this, that they're driving at 6 o'clock in the morning. They haven't had a drink in a while.
That's correct.
But what happens?
All right. What happens is somebody gets very intoxicated at a party, decides to stay over at the friend's house knowing or too intoxicated to drive, and they sleep for several hours. They get up in the morning and they go. Unbeknownst to them, they may still be impaired because now they don't feel as drunk as they were earlier in the evening or the prior evening, and they think they're fine to drive. They get out and drive. Something happens. They get arrested, and it's actually a DUI.
Bad things happen to good people. Put the phone number in your phone. It is 602-396-7100. It's important. It's a great weekend to have fun. We're going to be doing it for the rest of the next, few weeks now?
It will. The DUI task force will stop sometime after the first of the year.
Don't try and do these things yourself either. That's another thing I want to say. A lot of times people try. You need to have an attorney.
You absolutely. It is not recommended that you cooperate. First of all, don't talk to the police officer and admit anything. Don't admit I was drinking. Don't admit I had a beer with dinner. Don't voluntarily get out and do field sobriety testing. Ask for an attorney. Call us.
Right. The first thing to do is call them and say, I'm about ready to be pulled over. Just as the lights go on, just dial the number. They will help you. Okay. So a couple other things that now I want to go into, too, that you had brought up, which is if they have a suspended license, that's a felony. Now, I would think that a lot of people would know that they have a suspended license. They don't.
Some do not know.
And I know that, and I'll tell you why. My ex-husband had gotten a ticket. I guess he did not take care of it or what have you. It was something silly. And he didn't get arrested. They didn't, but what have you. He had a suspended license, didn't even know it.
Correct. Some people will move. Some people will have incorrect information through the motor vehicle division. And the notices that go out don't always get to people. Sometimes they're picked up by friends, family, and they don't know.
It can happen to anyone. You need to make sure that you are up to snuff with everything. And what's the first thing that you do if you get pulled over? Don't get out of the car and what?
Don't talk to the police. Don't volunteer information. Ask to speak to your attorney and call us.
Tell them that you don't want to take the breathalyzer. Don't do anything.
No field sobriety testing, nothing. Ask for an attorney.
Ask for an attorney. And the phone number to put into your phone right now, it's 602-396-7100. Have a great holiday weekend. It's starting now. We know you're going to party. We know you're going to have fun. But be safe. If you cannot drink and drive, that's your smarter thing to do. But God, things happen to people when you the least expected. The number is 602-396-7100.
If I traded it all